Hey everyone, this is Annette Dion. I am a psychic tarot card reader and I've been on YouTube now and again and kind of got booted off probably because I played somebody's music or just a little snippet, and I think that's what did it. But I'm back and it is September 2nd, 2020, and I'm going to do a reading about what's going on in America right now and with, just current events. So I've been a professional psychic reader for over 20 years now, since the 90s. And I would like to let you know that if you'd like to get a reading from me, it's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. If you'd like to send me an email, we can schedule it. So I'm just going to go and pull a few cards about current events. So today, what I'm being guided to talk about is I refer to the current so-called president as he who shall not be named. And the reason for that is that his name, everything is vibration and words are vibration. And his name, to recite it has such negative, dark energy that I don't like to say his name. So I refer to the orange person that currently sits in the White House as he who shall not be named. So I feel like I want to read about he who shall not be named and his current energetic mental state. So we'll start there, and then I'm just going to ask the spirit guides that are always with me and always with you, ask the spirit guides if there's anything that they want us to really know or be aware of. I just want to say, as soon as I said that, they said, watch your vote. So what that means is to pay attention to where your vote ends up. There is a way to track your vote. There is a way to just ensure for yourself that your vote was indeed counted. I didn't go as far as to track my vote, but I did notice in the voting process, because we just had our voting yesterday on Tuesday, September 1st, here in Massachusetts. I noticed that there is a way to do that. So track your vote in the presidential election on November 3rd. Make sure that you get your ballot in very, very early. Like as soon as you get it in the mail, send it out if you're doing it by mail. If you choose for in-person voting, I feel like that's the best way to ensure that your vote will indeed be counted. However, if you feel apprehensive because of health concerns, or if you have elderly parents like myself, I do, then just be very, very careful when you go and vote. And we know all the precautions, and it's not likely that you would get COVID just from going in and voting unless you're in an enclosed area with a lot of people. If you're just in and out with your mask, social distancing, or physical distancing, as I like to say, as opposed to social distancing, because it sounds too isolating. So, I get really strong guidance to let's make sure that we watch our vote, watch our ballots, make sure they go in, make sure they're counted to the best of our ability with what resources we have available to us. So there's that. And the other thing that the guides want to tell me is something about Nancy Pelosi, and they're showing that she's holding back. She does do that from time to time and just lets he who shall not be named just babble on, just to make himself look ridiculous. She does do that. However, I feel that there's a particular reason why she's holding back right now that has to do with some of the inner workings of this current administration, and that I almost feel like she's being challenged. Like, don't dare go out there and say this, or we're going to do that. Now, I don't feel like it's a threat to her life. I just feel like it's like she doesn't want to get involved in an entanglement and a mess right now. She's a very calculating person. She's very into like details and strategy, and she will make the right move at the right time. However, if she thinks that there's a risk of her being sort of misconstrued or seen in a different light, then she will back off. I know there was a story about her going into a hair salon and not having a mask on. I don't know the details of that story, um, but the guides say that whatever that situation is or was, that it wasn't, I just get that it wasn't unsafe. So I know here you're allowed to go into a restaurant, but on the way into the restaurant you have to wear a mask. But once you're seated at a table, you don't have to wear a mask, which makes 0 sense to me. When I tune into Nancy in the hair salon situation, I just feel like it wasn't a huge deal and that it was a safe situation. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Democrat. That's just energetically what I pick up. Okay, so I do like to tune into the angel, the archangel of the day, and I feel like the archangel today is Ariel. Of the 4 archangels I choose from, which are the major ones, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Ariel. And I feel Ariel being very close. Ariel reminds us to not forget to look at the beauty that's all around us, to understand that we're always being spoken to by the spiritual realm and the guides and the angels, and to uplift yourself with music, nature, art. Don't forget that, because that creates balance. We are in one of the darkest periods of American history, and I'm not saying that just to say that. That's actually, it is true. We have a malignant narcissist in the White House who's created horrible damage in this country, particularly well, with so many things. And I'm just particularly looking at how we're seen by the rest of the world. Our public image in terms of how other world leaders in other countries view us has been permanently damaged. I feel like it's been permanently damaged. Unfortunately, since he who shall not be named stupidly pulled us out of the WHO, basically proclaiming it's some kind of a, I don't know, the way he described it made it sound like it was a big scam. And now they're working really heavily on a vaccine. I saw many months ago in a reading that I did that was in a public, it was on Facebook, that we would be left out. When the actual vaccine that actually works comes out next year, and I feel like it's early spring next year, we'll be left out. And I feel like, you know, Joe Biden will get in there and he'll start mending fences and building bridges to these countries who have basically written us off. So let's pray that he who shall not be named gets ousted. I've been telling people, and I've been doing this myself, to imagine a big bright ball of white light kind of moving over into the White House, into where he's seated, and just blotting him out with white light in your visualization, and maybe like a big sun, and then feeling that light, visualizing that light kind of moving away, and then the chair is empty. There's nothing, no harm that can be done from that. Just with the intention, this is for the highest good of all. I visualize him blotted out and eliminated with the light to his highest good, and so let it be done. So mote it be. As I'm looking at the cards, I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune is staring right at me. So there is going to be a fortunate turn of events that are in the favor of the people that are working for the highest good. So let's keep our eye on that. And it feels like there's a coming together of the good people. Like, there are a lot of people that don't realize how many good people are out there. And this is like a growing awareness of the people that really do believe that we have to love each other and unite and build a better America. They're starting to really collectively kind of come together. And I'm getting this sense that, like, we're going to see like 70%, maybe up to 75% of people that are on the side of working for the highest good, like just sort of being revealed as they're the majority. I've seen a lot of protesters that are very, very peaceful, and that gives me a lot of hope, because I've seen protesters, even in the face of, you know, the red hat supporters, just like a black man and a white, you know, supporter of the so-called president, you know, kind of facing off but not fighting, just like the black man was saying, I want us to just have a conversation, and the guy with the red hat wasn't having it, but they weren't fighting. So the images of the peacefulness of the protests, I feel like we're going to see more and more, and then we're going to see more people getting on board with the peaceful protesters. And he who shall not be named will go on spewing lies because he doesn't know how not to do that. That's just the way it is. He does not know how not to do that. He suffers from malignant narcissism. That is just, it's a condition that he has. And he also suffers from being a pathological liar. And I had said, and just in terms of his mental stability and fitness and physical, back in November when he was taken, quickly whisked away to the Walter Reed Hospital, I knew then that he had had a stroke. Now, Michael Schmidt came out with this book, I'm not remembering the name of it right now, but it just came out yesterday, where there was an excerpt in that book that spoke of that mystery trip to Walter Reed, and it didn't conclude anything. There was nothing suggested as to what the actual reason was, that the physical condition that warranted him being, you know, whisked off to the hospital. He didn't even like theorize or, you know, give his, you know, sort of ideas about what it could have been. And then he who shall not be named promptly started tweeting, I didn't go to Walter Reed for a series of mini strokes. Go figure. Thou dost protest too much, methinks. Yeah, it was never said in the book. The book didn't say, and I suspect, you know, the author didn't say, I suspect he was going for a series of mini strokes, but then he who shall not be named tweeted all over the place that that he didn't go because of strokes. So he had a stroke. And he, you know, we've seen physical sort of things that have happened, like losing balance and kind of almost tripping, as these are signs of a person that's a sign of a person that's had a stroke. And he's not in the best of health. I don't care what Pence says. I just heard Pence going, oh, he's in magnificent health. No, you don't live on KFC and burgers and fries and not exercise except for golfing, which isn't really exercise, and you know, be 73. I'm not remembering. I think he's 73. You don't, you know, have a lifestyle like that, and you can't proclaim I have excellent, robust health, because it's not really, that's not how it works. Anyway, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are going to be turning in a more fortunate direction in the very near future around this full moon in Pisces, which is going on today. Now, I'm also getting a message about Ivanka, that she's shaking in her boots. Now that's interesting. Oh, well, that makes sense because that book came out. Gosh, there's books galore coming out by her former best friend, fashion consultant. And yeah, that makes sense. Ivanka's shaking in her boots because I feel like there was something revealed about her in the book about Melania. So there's that. So let's pull a few cards and see what else comes up, and then I'll let you go, and I'll probably come back in the very near future with another video. Picking 3 cards to just get some insight from the guides about what to expect. Okay, so there's a holding back. There's a kind of a real defensive posture that the president, so-called president, is, we're going to see him having this, and that's going to be what propels him into more conspiracy theories. So it's this fear and this holding back and not wanting to basically show his cards, so to speak, that's going to lead to more, it's kind of like the more he holds back and constrains and restricts himself and tries to hide everything, the more that, like, just insane conspiracy theories just spew out from him. Like, he cannot help it. I really feel like this is a very compulsive, reactive mental state that it's never going to change from that. So that's all we're going to see from now till the end of the year from him, because, you know, remember the election's in November, but, you know, he doesn't like leave office until January. So we're going to see a lot of, almost like we're going, the president is delusional. Now, I have said, and those who have watched my videos know I've said this again and again, that I've always seen him resigning in the fall months. So it could get to that. I do feel that it's going in that direction. And who knows, they may invoke the 25th Amendment that says if a president isn't fit for office, that he can be removed. So, hoping for that. So anyway, the more he's holding back and trying to hide things, and like the guides gave me an image of like being on a ship out at sea and holes coming up in the bottom of the ship, and trying to patch up all the holes, and the ship is sinking. It's just too many holes to patch up, you know, quickly to keep the boat afloat. So that's what's going on with him. And so the more he's like feeling like he has to hide things, for some reason I'm just picking up that that's how crazy things get, you know, to the degree that he's having to like hide is also to the degree that the conspiracy theories and the crazy ideas that don't even make any sense are coming out more and more. We also see the Emperor. This is representing Joe Biden, and that there's some people coming up behind him, and the guides are showing me like like 4 or 5 people behind him that are buoying him up. Now, these are people in the physical plane. I also have seen many times that he has a very big angel with him. It could be that I'm seeing his son who passed, Bo, as a big angel. But I'm seeing, the guides are showing me John Lewis too. This is interesting. And Elijah Cummings, I'm seeing these beings around him. So you know what, just much like we psychics channel, I feel like in many ways Biden is channeling. Of course, they'd never call it that, but I'm just saying some of the things that he's inspired and motivated to speak when he's speaking are coming from the other side. So rest assured, feel better about what's going on, because the higher powers are at work. The angel realm is hard at work. You know, we had to wake up. There were, you know, the guides were waking us up by having this person in the White House, so-called person. But they are, now that we've woken up and we're, you know, fighting for change and standing our ground and participating in democracy more, you know, we will be rewarded for waking up, basically. So that's Biden, and that's the growing of the sense of empowerment, the growing sense of having more power, having more control, having more of visibility and more credibility and followers. So that's the Emperor. And then the one last card I'll pull before I let you go is, yes, this is what I've been seeing the past few days. I've had the sense that even though I used to get upset about, you know, the press secretary Kayleigh McEnany and you know, and seeing he who shall not be named spewing lies, you know, just the past few days I've been having the sense of detachment and a vision of the future where the orange man is no longer in the White House. So let us be in that place. Let's blot him out with white light in our mind's eye, just in our mind. Just visualize the beautiful white light just kind of dissolving his energy so that he'll move on to the, you know, whatever comes next for him. And know that we will see this coming to an end. And also, it's going to feel like, it's really going to feel like the guides are showing me like the battle has ended. And now, you know, we just got to pick up the pieces and move forward. So there's your reading for today, September 2nd, 2020. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, if you'd like to book a reading, it's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com, and I'll check back again a little later in the week. Have a good one. Bye.